So there's this new meditation technique that I recently stumbled across. I was sitting down to do my nightly meditation like every night, and I just kind of got this new tactic, this new meditation technique that I want to share with you. Now, I don't know if anyone else has come up with this before or if my imagination just fed it to me, but it's pretty cool. So imagine you're meditating. You're taking some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're meditating, you're just releasing all thoughts, focusing on your breath or on nothingness. And every time that a thought comes into your mind, you just envision the bubbles kind of like in a soda can, just rising to the surface. So you're sitting there and you're thinking, and you think about your career. And as soon as you think about your career, a little bubble goes boop up to the surface and pops at the top of the soda. Now this keeps happening, and what it does is it allows you to release that thought completely. The thought goes up, you're focusing on the bubble going up instead of the thought itself, and when it pops, you stop thinking about it. Then you think about your relationship or your relationships. Bubble goes up, whoop, up to the top, and pops. This keeps happening over and over again every time you think about something, because one of the biggest benefits of meditation, from all the science, but also from my own experience with removing anxiety or panic to depression and all these different things that meditation heals, is giving your mind a moment, a break from the continuous thought patterns going on, and allows you to just focus on nothingness. It builds your muscle, if you will, your brain muscle, to be able to flush and separate itself from the thoughts. You aren't you anymore. And that brings me to the second amazing exercise that came to me. You're there, you're meditating, you are in your brain, you are in your body. Now, pull yourself out of your body and take a look at yourself from about 1 to 3 feet away. There you are, a human being, sitting down, meditating. Take a look at yourself in your mind's eye. Notice what you're feeling. Notice who you are. Notice what you're doing. Be aware of you. Now, jump back to the top corner of the room by the ceiling and look at where you were. There was a moment of consciousness, staring at a human being in a room, meditating. You are now observing who you were, observing yourself. So now there's you meditating, there's you 3 feet away, observing yourself meditating, and then there is you at the top of the room in the corner, observing both of those two. Now pull yourself outside of the house, maybe up to where the telephone poles are, and notice that there is a home, there is a shelter. And inside of that shelter, there is a piece of consciousness that is aware of and observing another piece of consciousness that is observing a human being meditating in a room. And now go up to the clouds and realize that if you look really closely, there is a spot of consciousness that is paying attention to a home. And in that home, there's another piece of consciousness and another piece of consciousness, and then there is a human being meditating. You can continue doing this. You can go out further so you can see the planet, so that you can see the whole solar system, and just go further and further out. I prefer to just go out a few steps so that I can really get a clear vision of the bigger picture of my life, and that maybe the things that I'm stressing about, that I'm worrying about, aren't that big of a deal and that everything's okay. And also reminds me how finite I am and how precious this existence is. So I would love for you to let me know how this goes. Try it out for yourself. The soda bubbling to the top to remove all thoughts from your mind, and being able to remote view your consciousness from different locations to give you some perspective. I hope these help you with your meditation practices. And if you don't meditate, try it out. It could be fun. Chat next week.